unfiltered corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing brushed aside. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name? Oh, yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we mean. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone. Judgment free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that blues. Welcome to the unfiltered corner. It's true. The unforgettables here. But I'm riding with you. The Bibles, yeah. And we're riding with you. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. I'm your host, the Unforgettable. How are you guys tonight? Let me make sure my sound is on because sometimes this phone likes to act up. Let me put this upwards so you guys can hear me and see me. And let me make sure my sound is up to date. Let me go over here. Let me make sure that my sound is on point with everybody. Let me make sure. Hold on a second, you guys. Let me make sure. All right. Hold on a second, you guys. You can hear it. I can hear it, you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Again, I am your host, the Unforgettable. Thank you for being with me tonight. We have a very, very sensitive topic. Very, very important topic to talk about tonight. And this all just circles around, suicide, okay? People, I don't know if y'all have lost people to suicide or if y'all have ever thought about it or ever contemplated it. We're going to talk about that tonight. It's a very, 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 very touchy subject. It's very, very important. Hold on, you guys. I'm just sending everybody my link. Make sure everybody gets all my links. Blah, blah, blah. Just making sure everybody's up on here. Anyways, you guys, how are you? All right, you guys. Let me put on my charger. How's everybody doing tonight? Again, I am your host, the Unforgettable. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. Thank you for being with me here tonight. Let me put this charger on here so I don't lose charge to the phone. There you go. On point. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about, hi Jay, how are you? We're going to talk about a very sensitive topic, you guys. We're going to talk about nobody notices until it's almost too late. We're talking about people that have passed away. Hi Lily. People that have passed away to suicide. If you know anybody that's passed away to suicide. If you have contemplated suicide in the past, or if you're feeling suicidal now, we're going to talk about that tonight, you guys. It's a very, 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 very sensitive topic. Hi, Ava. How are you? So we're going to talk about that tonight. Nobody notices until it's too late. Some people have taken their lives. I've known people that have taken their lives to suicide. They haven't been able to deal with stresses of life. And also, maybe somebody's going through a rough patch in their life right now. Somebody's depressed somewhere that's watching and probably contemplating suicide and going through it. Through a divorce, through a breakup, through a hard time, struggling financially. And they have all these thoughts in their head, of ending it all, you guys. And that's a sad situation. I like the subs. Can you play a good song called For Big Guys? It has no cuss words. Hello, Nate. How are you? We're going to talk about an important topic tonight, Nate. I don't play music on here because then I get copyright. But, yeah, you guys, we're going to talk about suicide and depression. Like, people go through that shit and they struggle. I think everybody at some point in their life has struggled with suicide and depression, and thoughts of hurting themselves. I myself have even dealt with that on my own with my children as well. They've
you know, had thoughts of hurting themselves because they've been going through some shit. So we're going to talk about that tonight, you guys. It's a very, very sensitive topic. Very hard to talk about. I don't know how many of y'all have lost anybody to suicide or dealt with, you know, thoughts of, you know, wanting to hurt yourself. Well, you're in the right place here. We're going to talk about that tonight. Because I feel like everybody deserves to live. Everybody deserves to be happy. I feel like everybody deserves to have support. And I just want to let everybody know that's watching my channel tonight, if you are contemplating suicide or know somebody that is, just let them know that they're not alone. Be there for them. Look out for the signs. And if you're here watching and you have these thoughts, you're going through a deep depression, you're going through it, you're struggling, just know you're not alone. There's people here listening. There's people here, you know, supporting you. This is a judgment-free zone, and we're going to talk about it. We need to talk about what causes these things and what people are going through, and watch out for the signs. We could be saving somebody's life right now, you guys. Don't forget to like my video, to subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and, you know, bring your peoples here. Hold on again, you guys. I'm going to pin my Cash App to the top of the page. If you want to support my channel, you can. If not, it's fine. You're here supporting it already. I'm going to pin this up. Hold on a second. Let me pin it up. Pin message. That's my Cash App on the top, you guys. But anyways, you guys, like I said, this is a very sensitive topic. And it's not an easy topic to talk about, right? I know people be going through some shit and they don't talk about it with other people, you know. Hold on. I know people been going through some shit and they don't talk about it. I know people be hurting and going through depression and they don't talk about it to other people. So anyways, so tonight's topic is nobody notices until it's almost too late. And sadly and unfortunately, it has been too late for many we have known that have passed away to suicide. So you walk past them every single day, right? When you walk past people every single day, you laugh with them, text them, see them post online, and you think that they're fine. You think these people are fine because you see they're laughing, they're smiling, they're texting with you every day. You see them that they're active online. And in your mind, right, you think that they're fine, they're doing good, nothing, there's no red flags, there's nothing going on, right? But nobody notices the silent battles of certain people, the silent battles people are going through by themselves, like depression and shit like that. The late night tears that these people cry, nobody notices it. They may look fine on the outside, but in the inside, they're hurting, okay? The thoughts that they don't say out loud. You guys don't notice the thoughts that they don't say out loud. Because struggling isn't always loud. Sometimes it's invisible. Sometimes people are struggling with their brain. Like, they're going through depression. Some people are struggling because they're going through divorce. They're going through, you know, breakups. They're going through financial problems. They're going through it in general. Or sometimes these people are battling their own mental health and they don't know how to deal with it in life. And it's not always loud, you guys. People may show you one thing on the outside, but it's another thing on the inside, okay? Because not everybody likes to expose what they're going through. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, you guys, and share and invite people on here. And the truth, most people only see it when it's almost too late. Most people only see that there's something going on with a person when it's almost a little too late. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, sometimes some people don't see it at all and people end up taking their lives, okay? This episode is for the ones quietly hurting, okay? This episode is for the people quietly hurting inside, that they're going through some shit. They're hurting. They're depressed. They're struggling mentally, okay? Hola, I'm here. What is this show about? Hi, Nikki. How are you? Nikki, this show is about suicide. It's about nobody notices until it's almost too late. I'm sure you guys know people that have tried to commit suicide or have committed suicide, or maybe you guys are battling your own battles on your own. The people watching me, they're depressed, they're silent, they're struggling with their mental health and maybe contemplating suicide. That's what we're talking about. You know, we want to make sure we're reaching out to as many lives as possible, because we want to save as many possible lives as we can, because we don't want people to take their life. We want them to know that they're supported, that we're here, that, you know, they need to speak up, and let people know what they're feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about tonight. This episode is for the ones quietly hurting, and for the people who want to help before it's too late. So you heard that? This episode is for you guys that are watching, that are quietly hurting and have a lot going on mentally and are probably contemplating suicide or want to hurt yourself and just can't. You just want to take the pain away, and you think by ending your life you're going to take it away. Or it's for the people who want to help before it's too late. You want to help others before it's too late, and they do something that you know, you guys will hurt after because they took their life. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about the invisible struggle. The invisible struggle these people go through, okay? They're high functioning, depression, and hidden pain. They're high functional. They work, they go to school, they clean their house, they take care of the kids, they do everything. They do everything. But they have hidden pain. High functioning. I've been on that boat before. I've been a high-functioning depressed person. But deep down inside, I've been hurting. And the reason, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to keep it 100. The reason I brought this topic up is because there have been times that I have been on this boat. And sometimes my mind, I have a battle with my own mind. And I go through these feelings sometimes. And I'm sure that there's plenty of other people who are going through it too, and have this going on in their lives, okay? And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I know I'm not the only one with hidden pain and struggling, okay? People who mask, make sure to like like this video, you guys, subscribe, and invite others and share. People who mask their feelings with smiles and humor. A lot of people that are invisibly struggling, that are internally struggling, that have hidden pain, they mask their feelings with smiling and humor and laughing. A few shows ago, I spoke about that I go through my struggles, and a lot of the times I'm always laughing, making jokes, you know, smiling and making, you know, a lot of humor. But deep down inside, people don't know what I'm going through. Emotional exhaustion that no one sees. The invisible struggle to people that are struggling like this, they have emotional exhaustion that no one sees. It's hidden. It's a hidden pain. They're emotionally exhausted. They just can't take it anymore. They're just overwhelmed. They're burdened, okay? Another invisible struggle that people go through. Feeling like a burden to others. You start to feel like a burden to others. Like you're bothering other people, okay? Just because someone shows up doesn't mean they're okay. Just because you see somebody smiling and laughing and just doing their everyday routine and shit like that, and, you know, doing well in life, having a great job, you know, being a great parent, you know, being a great spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, it doesn't mean they're okay. People know how to mask it very well. And I say this out of experience, okay? And now we're going to break it down as to why we don't notice. Why don't we notice it from these people? Why don't we notice that people are going through this? Social media creates the illusion that everyone is fine. It's truth. Everybody builds a front on social media. Everybody smiles. They're going to parties. They're going to cookouts. They're going here. They're going there. They're just going, doing their thing as normal, taking pictures with their children, their friends, and shit like that. And social media creates the illusion that everybody's fine, that everybody's doing good. But deep down inside, they don't know what a person's going through. Okay? People hide their struggles out of fear, shame, or pride. A lot of people hide this because they fear that other people are going to judge them. Okay? They feel ashamed. A lot of people feel ashamed because they feel this way. And they think people are going to judge them. Or it's pride. They don't want people to know that although their life is going okay, that they're struggling deep down inside. They don't want other people to know. They're too prideful. The signs can be subtle. Subtle means quiet. Like not even noticeable. Okay? Changes in sleep, appetite, or mood. People start to struggle to sleep. Either they don't sleep enough and they're up all night, or like they sleep too much when they're going through these feelings. Their appetite starts to change. Some people eat too much, or some like binge eating to cope with their feelings, or some people just stop eating and they start becoming like they just start to thin out. And their moods start to shift. It starts to change. Okay? Loved ones often misread withdrawal as attitude or laziness. Loved ones, and that's including friends. Everybody that surrounds you, they misread that you're withdrawing from them and pushing away from them as if you're giving them attitude, or you're lazy, or you're acting different, you changed up, you're being weird. They take it as that. They're misreading it. And little do they know what you're really struggling with and going through with deep down inside. Little do they know what these people are going through deep down inside. Sometimes the quietest people are fighting the loudest battles. It's truth. Sometimes the people that don't speak up a lot have so many battles within themselves that they're not being loud about to others. They're not speaking up about it. And it's loud within themselves, but nobody's noticing. Okay? Now we're going to talk about how to pay attention. Checking in with a simple, how are you? Really? How are you really? Check in with people. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them how their day went. Talk to these people. Check in with them. Just to make sure they're good. Listening without judgment or immediate advice. Just listening. Because sometimes people going through silent battles just want somebody to listen. They don't even want advice at some points. And they don't want to be judged. They just want somebody that they can spill it all out to them and let them know how they feel. So if somebody's coming to you and talking to you about their feelings, just listen. Don't judge them. And don't give them immediate advice. Just let them just pour their heart out to you. Another way to pay attention. Observing behavioral changes over time. If you're around people, start to observe them. Start to observe if they've changed, if they're acting weird, if they're, if they're changing their daily patterns, if they're isolating just start to observe their behaviors and what they're doing with time and see if it's getting worse. Another way to pay attention is encouraging small conversations, not forcing confessions. Just encourage just to conversate about these things, and let some information out. Don't force them to confess what they're going through, nothing like that. I know some people, when you're going through it, they'll question you, like they really want to get what you're going through out of you, and that's not a good thing. Because when a person's silently hurting, they really don't want to always open up to everybody, and they'll get offensive and offended and feel some type of way, and then maybe they don't want to talk to you anymore. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to kill the moment of being able to talk with somebody, and let them speak to you themselves up to where they want to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's not about solving their problems. It's about being present. We know, and this comes out of a person that's been in this predicament, okay? I'm not looking for anybody to solve my problems. I'm just looking for somebody to be present and to listen to me and to care for me and check in with me. That's what I be looking for when I've been in this predicament. And I'm sure that other people feel the same way. They're not looking for you to solve their problems. They just want people to be present and show them that they care. Now we're going to get into when silence leads to crisis. Okay? This is sad, you guys. When the silence leads to crisis, you guys know what we're talking about. Crisis, they get into a crisis mental health state, and some people take their life, you guys. Because they feel it's not even worth living anymore. They feel like they just want to escape from what they're living or what they're going through. And they think by ending their life, they're ending it all. That's the mindset they're carrying. I've been in this mindset, okay? The first thing is, ignored warning signs can escalate suicidal thoughts, okay? Ignored warning signs that people are not seeing, that they're ignoring and they're not catching up on it, can escalate. And it can lead to suicidal thoughts on people. Isolation and hopelessness grow in secrecy. You start to isolate yourself and become hopeless. And it becomes worse and worse and worse with time. And secretively, like you're isolating yourself in a room all the time. You're keeping to yourself. You're not talking to the people you usually talk to. You're not texting people back. You're not calling anybody. You're not answering phone calls. You're just isolating yourself from the world. And it becomes worse and worse with time. And then hopelessness starts to set in. You feel hopeless. You feel like it's not even worth living anymore. Friends and family often regret not noticing sooner. It's truth. I've been around people who regret not noticing sooner about their friend, their spouse, whatever, who passed away. It's hard though, because some people know how to hide it well. So if you had somebody that committed suicide and you're regretting not noticing sooner, don't be hard on yourself. Because some people know how to mask it well, and they know how to hide it well. And in your mind, you're seeing them happy and functional and doing their thing and doing their life, and they're just normal to you. But some people just know how to mask it well. Don't be too hard on yourself. Stories of near misses or survival can inspire awareness. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I have actually a story that can go with this, okay? I remember years ago, I was 19 years old. And I remember during that time, my mother had a hard time finding a place for me, my little brother, and her. So we were basically homeless. So I ended up living with my aunt. And I remember I was trying to find comfort in someone and love and attention because I was going through it and I had so much untreated mental health going on for years, you guys. And this was just like the topping. Like, I was lost in the world at the age of 19, like not having anywhere to stay, and my mom was struggling too. And I had met this guy and I liked him, and he lived about 30 minutes away from my aunt, and I started staying with him sometimes and everything. And, you know, I just started to struggle. Okay. And it came a point that I became attached to him because I had nobody. I was neglected and I was going through so much and I was struggling, and, you know, I had no direction in life. I had, you know, nobody being there for me. My mother was struggling too, so she was trying to kind of like do her thing and trying to get, you know, on her feet. You know, she was trying. But I was like at my aunt's house, and then I ended up being with this guy, and I was just like, okay. So I saw everything within this guy, and I got attached to him because obviously I was going through it, right, you guys? And I felt like that was a safe space. And then I started staying with him sometimes down where he lived. One day he decided not to be with me, you guys. When I tell you I lost my shit, I felt like my whole world came crumbling down, okay? I felt like, wow, my aunt doesn't want me in her house. This boyfriend is, you know, because my aunt didn't come up front to tell me she didn't want me in her house, but you can tell it's kind of like a weird, there was no connection there, you guys. And it was just weird environment, okay? It was just weird and all. And I felt lost in life. Like, I felt like I had nothing going for me. I didn't work. I was homeless basically, and I met this guy and I thought that was my safe space, and then he broke up with me and I thought I was gonna fucking die, you guys. Like, literally, like, I felt like my world came crashing down. I'm like, wow, I have nowhere to stay. This guy is leaving me. Like, I had nobody there for me, and I felt like he was there for me, right? And like, I felt like broken, you guys. I don't know how to explain it. And I remember when he broke up with me, I got into my sister's car, and she drove all the way from Boston all the way to Lawrence to take me to my aunt's house. And I was sobbing the whole way, okay? And I just felt like a broken person, and I felt hopeless, and I just felt like there was nothing left to fight for in life, you guys. And people that are watching this may think that, oh, she tried to take her life for a man. Let me tell you something. It wasn't about the man. It was about the fact that I felt hopeless. I had nothing. And I felt, you know, I was hopping home from home, and I'm living at my aunt's house, and my mom was trying to get on her feet. So, like, I felt like I lost everything. Like, I had nothing going for me, okay? And I remember I sobbed the whole way home. I felt like shit. And when I got to my aunt's house, like, I was depressed. My aunt, you know, told me that I had to leave her house. And I was like, you know, this is just a topping to the cake, right? And I said, I have nothing to live for. This was my mindset, you guys, okay? And I remember that day going and crying, and I was just destroyed. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I thought about ending my life that day. I was only 19, you guys, okay? And I went upstairs and I took a whole bunch of pills, and then I ended up in a hospital. And I ended up on an ambulance ride, and they ended up pumping my stomach, and I ended up being at a mental health hospital for 2 weeks. I remember my stepdad and my mom coming to visit me at this hospital. They went to visit me most of the days in there. I was struggling, you guys, and I was still struggling. During that time, even in the hospital. So now these people they were giving me a lot of pills. They trying to get me on. Like, I just felt like nothing was helping, you guys. I was just so hopeless. And I'm in this mental hospital just sitting there just thinking about this stuff. It was just crazy to me, you guys. Then I remember coming out, my mom found a place and stuff like that. It was hard. It was not easy, you guys. This was shitty. And I struggled with that, you guys. I never showed people signs. I never told anybody what I was feeling. I had a lot of mental health that wasn't addressed since I was young, and I felt like my whole world came crashing down. I had nobody to depend on. And here I latched on to a guy that I thought was going to be there for me, and then he didn't want to be there for me anymore. I felt like my whole world crumbled. And I did. I tried to commit suicide, and I wasn't successful about it. I thought that by leaving this earth that I would be better off because I had nothing to live for. That's how I felt then. And it was crazy. It was a crazy experience, you guys. I was hopeless. And honestly, I don't even remember after that what ended up happening. Like, you know, like I know my mom got a place. Did I continue to feel this way? It was hurtful what the guy did to me in his school. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was more to it than just the guy. I think it was what I was going through in general. Okay? Imagine being 19, homeless, jobless. My mom, you know, she was trying to find a place, and all I knew in life was my mother, and I had nowhere to go. And I was going through it. I had nothing to live for. That was my mindset. Nobody would care if I'd be here. That was my mindset. Nobody's going to care if I'm gone. Nobody would care if I'm not here. That's how I thought. So yeah, you guys, I've been through this. And I'm talking about it because I've been through this, and I know that there's a lot of people struggling out there with mental health, and sometimes they don't speak up on it, and they probably feel like they're better off not being here, and they're hopeless. And I'm telling you, you are important in life. You deserve to be here. Life may be knocking you down now. You're financially struggling. You're going through you're going through a divorce, you're going through a breakup, you're going through like a lot of problems. It doesn't matter what you're going through, but there's more to life than those problems. There's always a solution to everything but death. I've always said this to everybody. And you are worth your life. Your life is valuable, bro. And let me tell you, this is not the first time that I've thought like this. Like, I've been through my fair share of shit in my life, and like I've contemplated suicide multiple times, even after having children. And because I felt like I couldn't deal with the struggles of life and everything I've been through in life. Or like I've been, you know, presented with certain situations in my life that I felt like I can't do it anymore. I've been in those situations, you guys. I just didn't want to live. But now I have my children. So I'm like, that would be selfish of me to do that because my children need me. But that's such a bad battle because you're battling with your mind. You're battling with what you're struggling with. And you're battling with wanting to be here and be present for other people, for your children and everybody else. But inside, you're hopeless. You're empty. You feel like you can't just deal with life anymore. And I'm being serious. Your life is valuable. I know my life is valuable. And I know at times I've had these thoughts. But then I talk to God, you guys. I'm like, God, like, you need to help me. You need to push me through this because I can't do it anymore. Like, I've broken down to God. Like, I've sat in this same car and cried and said, God, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. And trust me, the devil pokes at me and tells me, go take your life. You'll be better off dead. And put stuff in your brain. He does. And then I have these conversations with God. These are hard conversations. I'm like, God, like, what do? I can't do this anymore. I'm struggling. I'm depressed. I'm going through some shit. Like, I don't know how many of y'all, you know, believe in God, but I believe in God. And I talk to God when I have these mental health breakdowns. I'm like, God, I just can't do it anymore. I need you to take my burden. I need you to take my struggle. I need you to take my load off of me, God. Like, you know, because it's not easy. Trust me. So when I'm here talking to whoever's watching me, I know it's not easy. It's not. And if you see people going through those little tiny, like, if you see like these changes in people, start checking in with these people, bro. Because I'm telling you, when you're in that type of mental health state, there's nothing that matters in that moment. You don't think in the moment about children, you don't think about anybody, but you just want to end it all. Then the guilt sets in, and then you're like, but I can't leave my kids and stuff. It's after. And sometimes some people don't even let that set in. Some people actually carry out the suicide. They actually carry it out. Unfortunately, those people are not here today with us because they felt hopeless, and like they felt down, and they were depressed, and they were fighting their own battles by themselves. You don't know what people are going through. Don't let people fool you with a smile and all these social media platform pictures and all these posts and all this stuff. Don't let people fool you, bro. Because people are fighting battles. And this is coming from a person that often smiles and laughs and, you know, a person that covers it with, like, I show like pictures and having fun and all this stuff, but I've been there. This is coming from a person that's been there. Don't trust what you see on the outside on people. You don't know the silent battles a person's going through. And you can be a person that can save a life today and tomorrow and the next day. And if you're the one going through it, just know your life is valuable. Now we're getting into when the silence leads to crisis. Well, I got into it, but I'm going to get into the fifth one. Notice the cracks. You guys got to start noticing the cracks before they turn into fractures. You guys know what that means? Notice a person's cracks. Like those little signs that they're showing you. Pick up on that shit before they become fractures and it gets worse. Or worse, they commit suicide. Start noticing this shit. I do this with my children. I'm very open with my children, and I want them to always come to me. And trust me, I have been there as a parent where my kids haven't told me that they felt this way. Not too long ago, I had my daughter take an ambulance ride because I wasn't home and I was on my way back home in a snowstorm, and she hadn't told me she was feeling down to the point that she wanted to take her life. She hadn't told me anything. You know why? Because like I explained to you guys, she didn't want to feel like a burden to me. She didn't want to feel like she was bothering me. She didn't want to feel like, maybe she felt ashamed. And she just felt hopeless. And I told her, you will never be a burden to me, especially with something like this. You come to me when you feel like this. I told her, you come to me when you feel like this. And that's all my kids. I have 4 kids. And I have a 5th one, which is my son's girlfriend, which I'm raising. I want them to come to me and tell me that they feel like this. I don't want my kids or my son's girlfriend to ever think that losing their life, they're better off. That leaving this earth, they'll be better off. I don't want them to feel like they have the whole weight of the world on their shoulders. Or like something is dragging them and depressing them to the point that they feel like they can't live anymore. I want them to open up to me and tell me that this is how they feel. I've been through this with my children. I have. It's not easy, and it breaks me. My other daughter has even thought like this when she used to get bullied in school. She's the one with the disabilities. She used to think like that. She feels she was better off because people would make fun of her. Imagine people bullying you to the point that you feel like you don't want to be here on earth anymore and you want to take your life. And I cried. I've cried to my kids. And I said, do you know what that would cause me if you was not to be here with me? That would break me. as a person. I don't think I can live. And I know that's selfish to say, but I'm just letting them know I care. All of them, all 4 of them, 5, because Nayeli's involved. I don't want them to ever feel like they can't come to me and tell me that they're feeling depressed and they're feeling down and something has them feeling empty or they're not feeling heard. I don't want my kids to feel like this. I want them to come to me and tell me so I can help them. I want to be at help, even if it's just listening to them. Whatever I can do to keep my baby safe, I'm there. And I told my kids, I don't want you to ever think that you're a burden. Your life is valuable. You're very well loved. You're very well loved. You're appreciated. You're a great person. And I tell them all the qualities that they are. I tell them everything because that's what they want to hear. I know that's what they want to hear because society is so mean on kids nowadays. Like society and schools, there's a lot of bullies in schools. There's a lot of kids that are just so mean. They don't think about the mental state of other kids. They're just ignorant. And they like, doing shit to kids and make them feel some type of way, bro. I don't ever want my kids to feel like that. That's why me as a parent too, I've changed for the best for them. When my kids come out to me and say, Mom, I don't feel heard with you, or I don't feel this, or I don't feel like you listen, or I feel like you get upset, or I'm trying to change all those things. Anything that they're telling me that can block a way of them coming to me and opening up to me, I'm changing that because I want my kids to open up to me and tell me that they're feeling suicidal and they're feeling hopeless. I want them to tell me. I don't want my kids to ever take their life. They're good enough. You are good enough. Whoever's watching is good enough. Now we're going to talk about prevention and support. There's resources. There's hotlines. I think it's 988. 988 is the suicide prevention hotline. You guys, it's 988 here in Massachusetts. There's therapy, counseling. There's community support groups. There's lots of support out there to avoid suicides. All types of support. Daily check-ins, messages, calls, or spending time together. Start doing daily check-ins with your peoples, especially people that either don't show any type of stress or depression and shit like that, and they kind of masking it well, or those that go silent and you're watching their moods and their behavior shift. Do daily check-ins with these people. Message them, call them. Start spending time with them. Even if it's like having coffee, whatever it is, check in with these people. Normalizing mental health conversations. Start to normalize that, you guys. That's why we're having this conversation right now. We need to normalize these conversations. I know they're a hard topic, but we need to normalize it. We need to normalize it. We need to normalize to talk about anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar disorder. We need to normalize this shit. We don't want people to think that it's abnormal or they're a burden to other people, shit like that. No. You need to talk about this shit. Awareness. Normalize it. Encouraging professional help when needed. If you see somebody struggling, encourage professional help for them. Push them. Talk to them. Let them know that there's help out there, that you want to help them. Don't wait until it's too late. Because this person is a value. Not only in God's eyes, but in the world. Like, your life is valuable. You can be the person who notices before it's too late. Just know that, you guys. You can be the person who notices before it's too late. You can be the person who picks up on those signs, who notices a shift change, and that can completely avoid tragedy. You can completely avoid a bad crisis like that, a tragedy, because that's what it is, an unfortunate tragedy. By speaking up, being there for people, watching out, check how they're behaving, keep an eye out, be observant. You can do that. Now, this message that I'm giving you guys here is to be hopeful, okay? People hide their pain for a reason. But being aware, asking, and listening can change everything. Remember, people hide their pain for a reason. They're not going to come and tell you. Like I said, it's the pride. They don't want to be a burden on others. They're embarrassed. They don't want to tell other people their problems. But awareness is key. Don't wait for the moment of crisis. Don't wait until it happens, you guys. Check in. Start to care for these people. Stay present. Don't give up on these people. I know that's hard because everybody has a busy life. Everybody has a lot going on. It's very difficult. But try to stay as present as possible. Even if it's a text message, a call. Come by once in a while on a person. Show them you care. That you're there. That you're willing to be there for them. Listen to them. Because sometimes a simple question or a genuine conversation is what saves a life. I always tell my kids, you don't know what other people are going through out there. You don't know the silent battles people are facing. You don't know what other people have going on within themselves. I tell this to even, I talk to them about teachers and all this stuff, anybody that they're surrounded by. You don't know what a person's going through, I tell my kids. Try to be good to people. You don't know a person's mindset and the mental state where they're at. I tell this to my kids all the time. Being kind goes a long way, and being observant and aware and checking in with people and being good and listening and not judging them. A simple conversation can save somebody's life. You don't know if you come across somebody at the store, on the street, on a bench, at a park, at a job, at school. You don't know when you come across a person that in their mind, they're so hopeless that they're contemplating taking their life because they feel like they can't live anymore. And just your simple conversation can stop that. Your way of showing you care for other people can stop that. You can save somebody's life. It's all up to you. Like I said, the suicide hotline is 988 at the U.S. side. It's a U.S. suicide and crisis lifeline. And there's also local crisis lines too as well, you guys. There's a lot of crisis lines out there, but the 988, you guys, if you know anybody that's struggling through it, give them that number. If you're the one going through that, give them, take that number and dial it. Reach out to people. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm telling you, you're not alone. I'm here. You need to reach out. My email's there. If you feel like this, my email's right there. It's at theunfilteredcorner1@gmail.com. Hit me up. I got Facebook too. Jennifer, Jennifer. The Unforgettable, Forgettadle. Look me up on Facebook. If you feeling like that, like your life is worthless, like you don't want to live, like you're hopeless and shit like that, hit me up. Hit me up. If you're feeling down and you're going through some shit, hit me up. I'm here. Because I know what that's like. I know what it feels like to feel hopeless. And like ending your life is the best way to go. I know. I've been there. I talk out of experience. Hit me up. You have my email. You have my Facebook. Look me up. Hit me up when you feel like that. I'm here. I've been there. I know what it's like. Your life is valuable. Don't ever think your life is not valuable. You're loved. You're important not only to God because He created you, but to everybody else around you. But I know life is hard. And I know life is a struggle. And I know life can beat you up sometimes. And sometimes you're battling mental health. And it's a battle between your mind and yourself. That is hard. I know. I get it. I've been there. I get it, and I've been there. If you're watching this and you're going through it, hit me up. Hit up somebody. Let somebody know. Because there's going to be a lot of suffering on the other end. Like, you take your life because you think it's worthless, and you're leaving kids, aunts, fathers, mothers, a whole bunch of people behind that really cared for you. And they're going to be hurting. They're going to be hurting. You don't have to survive alone. You don't have to carry it all by yourself. If you're listening and you're trapped, mentally trapped, in your own quiet pain, listen to me. You don't got to go through it by yourself. There's plenty of people, I'm one, that are willing to listen. There is hope. There is someone to listen to you. And there is a way through. One small word at a time. You don't have to speak loudly to be heard, you guys. But speaking at all can save you. Trust me. I've been there. And I know it's hard. Because like I said, people are too prideful to let other people know they're going through it. And people are too embarrassed and ashamed to tell others what they're going through. And people just don't want to be a bother to everybody else. They feel like they're a bother. You're not a bother to me. You're not a bother to me. Hit me up. I told you my email. You can see it on my channel. Hit me up if you're feeling like that. I told you the 988 crisis hotline too. You're not alone. There's many people going through this same thing. One day at a time. The small victories count, you guys. You have to understand that the pain doesn't define you. Leaning on support. Start leaning on support. Even when it's uncomfortable. Learn to lean on other people if you're going through this, okay? Learn to live with hope and not perfection. Have the courage to say that you're not okay. It's okay not to feel okay, you guys. Have the courage to speak it up to others. Reach out to somebody you trust. Write down your feelings. Go find a therapist, psychiatrist, whatever is best for you. Somebody you trust. Let those feelings out. Somebody's willing to listen. These are small steps toward connection and relief. Silence protects the pain. But again, speaking can save your life. I've been there. I've been there at the point that I haven't spoken up and I tried to take my life. I've been there. And I've been at the other end when I've spoken up because I can't take it anymore. And I feel like I can't live life anymore. When I lost my mother, I became so depressed that I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. It's crazy. The way your mind fucks with you, and your mind is all over the place when you're either dealing with a crisis or dealing with a tragedy or dealing with whatever life throws at you. It's crazy. And I know you have daily internal battles. Your thoughts are just driving you crazy, spinning in circles. You start to question your worth. You start questioning yourself as a person in general and your purpose in life. You have purpose in this life. If God brought you here and you're still here, you have purpose in life. God gave you the gift of life. You have purpose, although you don't see it. And I know that you're dealing with the mental exhaustion of just existing. It's hard. Every day I survived was invisible to the world, but it mattered. Absolutely. Absolutely. You matter. You matter. There's purpose in your life. There's worth in your life. You're worthy. I'm telling you this. Imagine, I know a lot of people fear being judged and misunderstood. That's why they don't speak up. And some people, they don't speak up because they're being the strong one for everyone else. That's where I come in. I'm talking about myself. I stay silent. I've stayed silent because I have to be strong for my children and my household and everybody else around me. I've been there. That's hard. Trying to be the strong one while you're battling your own mind and struggling with your own mental health, that's fucking hard. And some people, I know that some people don't open up to others because they've had past experiences where opening up didn't help them. Either it backfired on them, people talk shit, people said things that, was not necessary. I've seen people speak up to like therapists and all of a sudden like therapist is throwing you. That happened to me. I spoke up to my therapist and I said, I feel like this. That was years ago, 2014, 2013. And I said how I felt. Where was I thrown? In a mental health hospital? I mean, it was probably for the best of me, right? Because I was having a lot of thoughts. But you see, those little past experiences is what make people not want to speak up. So I get it. I get it. And I get people start to feel invisible to themselves too, and to everybody around them. They carry emotional numbness and emptiness. I've been there. I felt numb to the world, and I felt so empty that it didn't matter what I had. I just felt empty, like there was nothing within me. And I felt a lot of disconnect from the world and the people around me. I told you guys when I was talking about my mother, when she passed away, that was on the 23rd, I spoke to you guys. Like, I even pushed away and got distant from my church family. I did that. I did. Not because they did anything wrong. It's because you become disconnected to everybody around you when you feel like that. You become disconnected from everybody within your household too. Very disconnected. And remember, sometimes silence isn't peaceful. It's a prison. You're living in your own prison. Don't stay quiet. Open up your mouth. Speak up. Look for help. But for those that know people going through this, I already told you the signs to look out for. Look out for people. Be nice to people when you come out here. When you out here and you in your job, in your schools, in a store, wherever the fuck you are, be kind to people. You don't know the silent battles people are dealing with. You don't know if that person is struggling in their mind to take their life and end it or continue it because they can't deal with life. Be nice to people. I tell this to my kids all the time. Everybody's going through it some way, shape, sort. Everybody has something that they're dealing with in life. And I'm telling you, I don't know if the people that watch my channel believe in God. I do. Like I said, when I get into these mental health battles, I pray to the God and I tell God and I let God know everything and I talk to him. Prayer is powerful. Prayer is powerful. Start praying for these people. Pray for these people going through these things. Pray for them. Pray over them. Ask God to intervene. Ask God to hug them, to fill that void that these people are feeling. Ask God to take those burdens off of these people. Ask God to take the burden and the hopelessness away from these people. Ask God to fill them up with love. Ask God to take away all those thoughts that these people are carrying. Ask God to provide for these people if it's financially that they're struggling. Ask God to just be there for these people. Prayer goes a long way. I don't know how many people that are watching me and believe in the Lord, but I do. Prayer is powerful, you guys. Pray over these people. Pray over them. Because the enemy, the devil's out here trying to destroy lives. Snatch them up, telling people to take their lives because they're not worth shit. Pray over them. That's why when I get like that, I know I have children. And although I know I'm going through some shit, I'll cry here in the same car where you guys see me, here in my little capsule. And I beg God to help me to take these thoughts away from me. I beg him to take everything off my shoulders. Because it's like a weight people are carrying. It's an invisible weight. I ask God to fill this void that I feel within myself. I ask him. I know nobody's seen God. But we've seen his hand and the things he has done in our lives. You know why? He wakes you up every day. He lets you take your air the first thing in the morning. He has taken care of your loved ones. He has been there for you in the times you've needed. Not maybe in the moment, but he's taken care of the business. He's taken over. Pray over these people, you guys. Watch out for the signs. This is coming from somebody that's been there. I've been there. Recently, I've been there. I've felt depressed. I've gone through it. And I have silent battles that nobody knows. And that's why I am the way I am. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a giver, and I help everybody around me, and I try to be good to everybody around me. But nobody knows everything I face daily. It's crazy, you guys. This topic has me like emotional. It has me thinking here. It has me just, my mind is just like, wow. Because I've known people who've taken their life. And sometimes the people that don't get it, that never been in that predicament, say, why did they do that? Their love, this, that, and the third. Yeah. You're saying that, but you don't know what their battles are deep inside and what their battles were. But coming from a person that knows is different. Check on your peoples. If you see somebody being distant, hit them up. If you see somebody's behavior shifting, talk to them. Have a simple conversation. And be nice to people when you're out here. That's all I got to say to y'all. Because some of these people don't know how to survive the noise and the craziness in their mind. And they didn't want to die, the people that have passed away like this. They just want to escape the reality and numb it for the moment. Just know that, you guys. And I told you guys that this was going to be a very sensitive topic, very emotional. And I know that this is going to be shared on the platform. People share my, share my videos. So if y'all going through this, seek help, speak up. And if you see people going through some shit, help them. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. I am your host, The Unforgettable. Thank you for being here at the Unfiltered Corner. God bless you guys. I pray over you guys. I bless you guys. I ask God that He blesses your mind and He blesses your body and fills any void you're feeling, whoever's watching. I ask God that He may be there for you and hug you and make you feel whole and not alone. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Peace.